Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
We're back on the Nada Yada Island Confessions Show. Benny is about to tell us how he found two loves. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks to Metro, I found iPhone 12 and Apple Watch SE.
At Metro, get the perfect match of both iPhone 12 with 5G and Apple Watch SE for only $99.99. You heard that right. Both for just $99.99. Holidays with Nada Yada Yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number and ID, sign up for Metro Flex Plus, and add a watch line. Not available if you're with T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days. Limit 2 per account.
Money decisions don't have to be either or. With Bank of America, they can be yes and. Like yes to sunny vacations and rainy day funds. Can our digital tools and guidance help you create the future you want? Yes. And help you keep enjoying today too. Do more with a bank that asks, what would you like the power to do? Explore our tips and more at bankofamerica.com/yes and.
This year, Santa's bringing the power of Energizer into his workshop.
Whoa, the Energizer Bunny's got so much power.
Wait, he's powered up all the toys. I think that means we're done for the year.
I love this bunny.
He's the hardest working helper the North Pole has ever seen. And he wants all your gifts to have the power of the #1 longest lasting AA battery. So this holiday season, stock up on Santa's and the elves' favorite battery, Energizer Ultimate Lithium.
Great days start with great underwear. So if you're looking for something special, give Tommy John and gift a better day. Everything we make is meticulously crafted from breathable stretch fabric for the perfect fit, including our sleepwear for him and her. It feels good to give, but it feels great to give Tommy John. Find something for everyone and pick up something for yourself. Because at Tommy John, greatness is in our very fabric. Don't miss Tommy John's Cyber Monday sale. Save 40% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/Spotify. See site for details.
Welcome back to the Skating Penguin Network, everyone. It's Robbie here with Snail, here for another game recap episode. Penguins just completed a contest against the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers at home in Pittsburgh, and we can definitely say that we're happy they've won 4 in a row. We got the full Penguins experience in the third period. They go up 4-1, blow that in about the blink of an eye. But credit to the Penguins tonight, Snail. They blow that lead, but they still buckle down. Not only get a point, but snag a 3-on-3 overtime win, which they've had so much trouble of in the past. So I think despite the blown lead, obviously you don't want to see that, but that's 4 wins in a row now, and I think that is the bigger picture of everything here is they still get the job done, and they get another W.
Yeah, boy, what a roller coaster that game was. When they get to those early leads, it just seems that at times it comes at a price that they're going to inevitably collapse. How many times have we seen the lead dwindle and then a fortuitous penalty against the Penguins, and then they get a power play? I mean, I've seen this movie so many times, and I don't know if it's just like wishful thinking. It's funny what a few wins will do to your confidence as a player, I'm sure, and certainly as a fan. But yeah, hardly ever is there an instance of a tiger changing its stripes. I'd like to say that this team is capable of that at times, as they've shown us, but the lead dwindles and then it goes to overtime. I'm happy with the point. This is the defending Stanley Cup. I'm like making all these excuses in my head. Well, it's the Panthers. They're just an amazing team. Once they start putting the pedal to the metal, they're a hard team to stop. Jari, is it Jari again? The defense is running around I don't know. But anyways, Russ puts it away in overtime with a beautiful snipe. They had Matty Cullen. I don't know if you were paying attention, but Matty Cullen was on to celebrate his induction to the U.S. Hall of Fame, along with Kevin Stevens. It was an awesome game for a lot of reasons. If you look past the glaring blown lead whole issue, but other than that, yeah, it was a fun game to watch, and high flying offenses. It got super chippy, which I always like. See the Penguins learn how to stand up for themselves, and they have some of the types of players. They have some of the players now that can actually do that, impose physicality and not back down. So it had a little bit of everything in it, like you're saying, Robbie. It was like you said, the full Penguins experience today.
Yeah, and again, the Penguins come out good. This is a game where, listen, Florida's a really good hockey team. I didn't really have high expectations coming into this one. Luckily, the Penguins did have a couple days rest here. But, I mean, Florida is a different beast. But the Penguins, they come out, they get the 2-0 lead. They give one back, but they keep fighting. 3-1, 4-1 then. Phil Tomasino gets another point. He has a great, beautiful assist on Evgeny Malkin's goal. Marcus Pettersson, I don't know who that was that scored that goal.
That was Kevin Stevens.
Yeah, it was a true. I mean, they were even talking about power forwards right as he scored that, and he takes the dish from Sid and just a power forward move right to the net, lifts it over Spencer Knight's shoulder. It's 4-1, and again, every Penguins fan thought creeped into your head when they went up 4-1. Unfortunately, it came to fruition, but they buckle down. They get the win. Brian Rust with another big goal for the Penguins. He's kind of starting to feel it a little bit more, and the Penguins, hey, we're at 4 in a row now, and that is all you can really say. They're 11, 12, and 4. They're just hanging around, and really after the way that everything had gone until like Thanksgiving, they're in probably as good a position as you could hope for at this point. Obviously, you win 4 in a row. You feel better about yourself. You'll notice if you listen to the podcast regularly, I'm sure we sound a little bit more optimistic. A long way to go, but it's much, much more fun to sit here after these games and talk about wins than it is to talk about losses.
That's for sure. And I know it's a little bit early to be scoreboard watching, but I happened to notice a couple fortuitous bounces in the standings. We have the Hurricanes losing to the Kraken, the Capitals losing to the Sharks, although in overtime. Islanders lost in overtime to the Canadiens. And not that they're in the Metro, but, you like to see someone like the Red Wings lose also in overtime to the Bruins. So some points left on the table, but some losses in the standings. And hey, you never know. These are the things that, I mean, as Penguins fans, we know it. When we're in March, you're looking back in October, November, December, looking at wins that maybe you could have snuck a point or two out. I think it's a little late for the Penguins. They've squandered, the first part of the season essentially pretty bad. But like you said, they're hanging around, and who's not going to take 4 wins in a row? They don't ask how, they ask how many. And ultimately, that's what we'll be looking at in March for those hopefuls out there that are still hoping the Penguins, or as Phil Bork has been coining them, the Penguinis, because they make nothing easy on themselves.
No.
I like the Penguinis. I like that. That's what they are. They're the Penguinis, and they really do make things hard on themselves. But it's good to be talking wins no matter what. And after this first part of the season, I mean, man, as a fan, you'll ride this. This will take me through to Friday. The
Penguins, they have a couple more days off here, and you're feeling good now until Friday. And on Friday, you go up against a team in the Rangers that is basically in a complete tailspin, and the Penguins can add to that misery on Friday. The Penguins are hot, the Rangers are not. You can add to some of that misery and maybe force the Rangers into a panic move, especially if you go out there and embarrass them. Obviously,
it can go one of two ways, Robbie. The Penguins will either play slump buster and help get the Rangers back on track and looking like President's Cup trophy winners again, or they'll compound on top of their misery and hopefully force the powers that be over there to make a desperate trade, which ultimately will make them crumble and collapse, I hope.
Yeah. I mean, you could really kind of put salt in the wound if you go into the Garden on Friday night and embarrass them. They are a team that they're not even playing like close hockey. They're getting just embarrassed night in and night out mostly. There's already talks of guys that could be moved. Shesterkin's about the only one that's showing up night in and night out.
Yeah, because he's got a big old contract waiting for him.
Yeah, so he's very much like, I mean, I don't think anything they've been doing is convincing him to re-sign in New York right now. So, yeah, things are bad with the Rangers, but the Penguins, again, this is the best spot they've been in all year. The first time they've won 4 in a row since April of last season when they started that run to kind of make a push for the playoffs, and maybe that is what they're in the middle of right now. It would be fantastic if they carried this into Christmas and the New Year. They're starting off.
Just don't lose until then?
Well, I mean, if again, they lost in April last year, so I'm not saying they run the table to the New Year, but if they put up a April 2024 in December of 2024, we're talking a lot different situation come January 25 than what we expected even just a week and a half ago, because this season looked dead in the water for a while. But again, a lot can change when you win 4 games in a row. The Penguins tonight against probably the best opponent they've played during this stretch, go out there, get a big lead. Yeah, they squander it, but they buckle down, get it to overtime, and Brian Rust gets them the 2 points. So, not all positive, but right now it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be effective, and that's what the Penguins did tonight.
Totally. Dude, I think we should touch on this. I at least wanted to touch on it. Owen Pickering gets his first goal as a not a Pittsburgh Penguin, in the NHL. Big moment for him. And, he's a defenseman. He's been, I would say that he doesn't have a ton of pressure on him compared to maybe like a Bedard or a Celebrini or anything like that. But I would say he has an elevated amount of pressure on him, being that the Penguins have been closely eyeing him with hope. And he's been one of the only, I'm not even going to necessarily call him, and this is no disrespect, like blue chip prospect. He's a good prospect that has been in the Penguins system for a little while now, drafted by former GM Ron Hextall. He's been one of the only bright spots that we've been looking forward to. And with the loss of a guy like Dumoulin, who was a defensive stalwart for so many years alongside Chris Letang, Pedersen, we're talking about, Penguins probably aren't in a place where they're looking to re-sign him, as well as good as a defenseman as he is. And with his age and all that, he seems more prime slotted, probably looking to be more like this year's Jake Gensel at the trade deadline. With Pickering coming up, looking to solidify that spot on the left side, top pairing, top 4D for the next 10 years, there has been some pressure on him. And for him to be playing so well this year, with the organization giving him some rope, to see him get his first goal is monumental. I think he's been pretty solid defensively, and to see him get rewarded with a goal at home, it was just awesome to see. Robbie, where were you at with Owen Pickering and getting his first in the NHL?
Fantastic, rewarded for what he's shown in this short preview that we've seen with him at the NHL level. It's only his second pro goal. He has 1 goal this year down in Wilkes-Barre as well. So, yeah, it just a good reward for the solid play he's put in. He's not going to be a guy that fills the net with goals. He's not an offensive defenseman. But anything you can get from those defensive shutdown guys is a positive. And it was a nice shot. He just did what any defenseman in that situation should do. Throw it on net. There were bodies in front, and it got its way past Spencer Knight. So, yeah, fantastic for him. I'm sure that regardless if you're a goal scorer or a shutdown guy or a bottom 6 guy, that first goal has to be just such an immense moment in your life and career that it doesn't matter how it goes in as long as it goes in. And big ups to Owen Pickering for getting that milestone tonight. And again, hopefully it's one of many for him. But I will say that I think with Jackson Ivany being sent down today, Owen Pickering has pretty much solidified his role on this team. Cody Glass was activated, so they had to make a roster move, and Pickering did not need to go through waivers. Neither did St. Ivany. They went with St. Ivany going down. So I think that is a huge vote of confidence. And I think we're going to see a lot more of Owen Pickering, not just this season, but going forward. He's going to keep developing at the NHL level. And if he keeps on the path he is, I think he's going to be a really, really good NHL defenseman for the Penguins for a very long time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the makings are all there. It's up to him to take the opportunity. He's 6'5", and I think he just hit 200 pounds. I mean, that's almost Hedman. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if he's young. He's gonna get bigger. He's gonna get stronger. He's gonna get. They said it on the broadcast, and I agree. He's gonna get wider. You know, he's probably barely filling out his pads right now, but he's gonna get bigger and better. I mean, he's gonna. I have high hopes for the kid, and you know, I had an interesting kind of an epiphany while I saw this goal happen. And it's kind of weird to think about, you know, Robbie, we're talking about this goal right now, and the Penguins' core is still the same as it's been, essentially minus Fleury for so long at this point. Mm-hmm. This is a kid that will probably be talking about skating Penguin Network in the year 2034, where Sid's long gone, Malkin's long gone. This is going to be a kid that they're looking to solidify that defensive position and be probably a core member well past even, you know, Sid, Gino, Letang, competing in a Pittsburgh Penguins sweater or in the league at all. It was kind of an interest. I had a little bit like, whoa, you know, I'll probably remember this goal in 8 years when, and I don't see why it wouldn't, but if Pickering pans out and he turns into a Dumoulin type, if he turns into an NHL, pro NHL defenseman, we'll probably remember this goal being like, wow, remember Sid was in the league when he scored that? Remember when the Penguins were like, it's just interesting. He's one of those new pieces that will be here for the foreseeable. And I always get a little excited for that. I remember out here in Seattle, I just so happened to be at the game where highly touted prospect Shane Wright scored his first NHL goal. Mm-hmm. And it's cool to see those. And you just think about all the culmination of all the hard work and the sacrifice from parents and coaches and even the player themselves. You know, they have the talent and they got to put it to good use and be responsible with it. To see him get his first goal in the NHL at home, just an awesome moment. A feel good moment in a game that had its ups and downs and ultimately 2 points. So just wanted to kind of touch on that lightly. Evgeny Malkin also scored. He got his 6th, and he had his parents in the crowd as well, which is always cool. Cool to see them celebrate along with their son. And Chris Letang's been hot. He's got 2 goals in a couple games, right?
Yeah, Chris Letang's been playing much better hockey as of late as well. He now has 4 goals on the season. So, yeah, I mean, the way that he started the season, it could not get much worse. So anything positive was something to build on, and he's been really good. His goal tonight was just from a bad angle, just threw it on net. It found its way behind Knight, and yeah, big goal there from the Penguins, or from Letang for the Penguins. And yeah, been playing much, much better hockey as of late as well. So really good to see Letang kind of turn that corner. And because if the Penguins are going to get back into this, him and Carlson are going to be 2 guys that need it. It's not if they can play better, it's they must play better. And so far, this 4-game win streak has been better play from both of those guys. So getting a positive turnout of Letang and Carlson has been a key factor in this. And Letang has really, I thought, been almost getting starting to look like the old Chris Letang that we're used to, rather than whatever he was putting out there earlier in the season.
Yeah, it's almost like he was trying to be a little more defensive, which is not really in the DNA of his game. And Carlson was, I think they were putting him in a lot of positions to try to just squeeze offense out of him. And I want to say that Letang's been shooting the puck well and moving the puck well, and Carlson's actually been playing with a little bit more defensive minded type game. And I watch Carlson a lot when they play, and you know, there are times where, and he even said it, I thought Carlson had a great quote pertaining to this, where he said, you know, sometimes you love me and sometimes you hate me and sometimes you feel both on the same night. And I could not have agreed with that more. And I just respect the hell out of him for even having kind of the self-deprecation to be able to say that to a reporter. I thought that was a great quote. And like I said, I've been kind of ISO camming on Carlson quite a bit lately, and I just have noticed a lot better along the boards, down low in his own end, not trying to rush his stretch passes. He just seems to be playing with a little bit more patience and poise, and it's not all on his shoulders to break the puck out and move the puck, because Letang's been doing that great, and Carlson, he's definitely not going to be a like a plus minus champion at the end of this league or anything like that. He's still going to have his errors and his riverboat gambling style of defense, but they've kind of found this happy medium, and it's working for the Pens as they've won their 4th in a row in OT.
Great days start with great underwear. So if you're looking for something special, give Tommy John and gift a better day. Everything we make is meticulously crafted from breathable stretch fabric for the perfect fit, including our sleepwear for him and her. It feels good to give, but it feels great to give Tommy John. Find something for everyone and pick up something for yourself, because at Tommy John, greatness is in our very fabric. Don't miss Tommy John's Cyber Monday sale. Save 40% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/Spotify. See site for details.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
How about listening to the sounds of Istanbul? Beautiful, isn't it? But you can't discover the coolest city in the world just by listening. Check Istanbul.goturkiye.com now and plan your Istanbul trip today.
Way to eat its heat. You're listening to an ad for PC Game Pass. Want new games on day one like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle? How about living out your Sims life with EA Play? We're talking high-quality PC games all for one low monthly price. We got you. Learn more at xbox.com/PC Game Pass or click the banner. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle available December 9th, 2024. Game catalog varies by region and over time. Okay, that's the ad. You can go back to doing whatever you were doing now.
Yeah, and hey, right now, any win you can get's a good win for the Penguins, and they do so again on here on Tuesday night, back at home again with the Florida Panthers getting a big win against the defending Cup champs. So, yeah, now they go another 2 days off. Every week is kind of backloaded with games. This month it's until right around Christmas. So it's off early in the week and then busy in the latter half of the week. They are off Wednesday and Thursday this week, and then another weekend back-to-back Friday night. They are in the Big Apple for a showdown with, as we said, the struggling Rangers, and then Saturday back home against the high-flying Toronto Maple Leafs, their first meeting of the year with the friends from up north. So it'll be a lot of Toronto fans in the crowd in Pittsburgh on Saturday, but should be a good game. I believe it's the Hockey Night in Canada game as well. So
love those.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of hype around that. All it is when you get Crosby versus a Canadian team, and especially when that Canadian team like the Maple Leafs is playing good hockey. So it should be a fun night, and the Penguins will look to continue building on this momentum. It's not an easy out here this week again. The schedule does begin to let up a little bit next week, but got to get through these next two games. Hopefully, at worst, they split them 1-1. But other than that, the Penguins 4 in a row, and hey, as long as you keep winning, you're going to keep climbing up the standings. And right now, that's all the Penguins can worry about.
Yeah, I think they've been doing a good job of that too. It seems that at times they're worrying about just each shift, every play, every period, and it's been working for them. We've been seeing that Sullivan system actually working for them, and this team puts my mind in a pretzel weekly. Sometimes I find myself thinking the league has passed Sullivan by. I've said that point blank on here so many times, Robbie, that they string a few wins together and you see that relentless forechecking type of system, and And you see all the things that Sullivan has preached for so long with these younger legs like the Lizottes, the Buntings, Tomasino, O'Connor, a mix of the old and the new, and they're putting wins together. I see the vision and I can see how it works. And yeah, it just makes me wonder. I'm like, what is it? Is it the chicken or the egg? Is it the system? Is it the coach? Was it Jari? Is it no one knows? Does no one care anymore on this team? So, I think with that, you got to take the wins as they come and take the losses as they come. But we know that this team isn't going to go undefeated into April. It's just nice to ride this high right now. In previewing a little bit, they're going, like you said, into Madison Square Garden, where, the last few years has not been super kind. The Rangers, the Rangers are an interesting team, Robbie, and I wanted to talk about them briefly. Just, it felt like only yesterday that they kind of put that letter out to their fans saying that they were going to rebuild. They get Capo Caco, they get Hedel, and they get Alexis Lafreniere as the first overall pick. And then it seems that they got old very quickly with Mika Zibanejad. Panarin, he's not old, but he's not he's not Chicago Blackhawks Panarin by any means. And he came over to the NHL, some people forget, a little bit later in his career than someone coming in at 18, 19. Trouba, their captain, under ridicule, and their GM has even put his name out as a trade rumor. Kreider's name, longtime Ranger. This team is so interesting to me as well because they win the President's Trophy, and you don't typically win a President's Trophy by fluke. I don't think you can in the NHL, especially nowadays. But it seems like for years that what would they have been without a guy like Shesterkin putting up insane goalie stats, letting this team be run and gun, high flying. And with Shesterkin still playing the way he is, Robbie, I mean, let's not tiptoe around it. He could post a shutout. The Penguins could have the game of this season, and he could post a shutout, and we wouldn't be surprised. Jonathan Quick has great numbers this season as well. Maybe pre-collapse that they've been on. With the Rangers with the Penguins going into Madison Square Garden and facing this team, what are some points you'd think what do the Penguins need to do to give them a chance against a floundering Rangers team that, despite their floundering at the moment, still has the pieces in place that could, and with the Penguinis that love to hurt themselves. I mean, the Penguins could play great. They have one defensive breakdown in their own zone, and you don't think Zibanejad, Kreider, Panarin, Hedel, Lafreniere can make you pay?
Yeah, I think if you can go out, and just take advantage of the mistakes they're making, make life miserable for them, score early, because they're a team that again, everything's kind of going against them right now. Take any early momentum away, get it on your side, get the fans against them. Right now, again, they're straight up just struggling right now. There's no doubt about that. They kind of just suck. I mean, that's really all it is. They're just not a good hockey team. They're a team that is floundering in the worst way. They're taking on water. And Shesterkin is still Igor Shesterkin. He is the backbone. And yeah, if he would decide to take his talents elsewhere in the offseason, I don't know where they go from there. I don't know where they go from there right now because they're already talking about making big moves. So it'll be very interesting to see how they handle this, because if it all hits the fan sooner rather than later, I don't know what Chris Drury's going to do. But if we're just looking at Friday night, just try to pile on the misery. You hate the Rangers to begin with. Just make them hate being out there with you. Get the momentum early, score, really get the crowd against them, and just use what you've been doing the last 4 games and make it 5. And walk out of there with a win, and we're feeling pretty good.
I like that. Capitalize on their whatever they'll give you error-wise, you got to capitalize on it. If you can get it past Shesterkin, if you get 1 or 2 past him, you might not get another one no matter how many errors they make. So make the most of them. And I was going to say, maybe don't meet him in the back alley. This is a team that they're playing bad, and they have the players that can physically impose and be jerks. And the Penguins, this isn't the Penguins of the past few years where it's only Sid getting up and being physical and maybe dropping the gloves or something. You've got Bunting, you've got Achari, you've got, Letang is known to throw a good hit too, still at his age and where he's at in his career. I used to hated that slogan from the year "Just Play," where teams would try to bully the Penguins and Sullivan would say, we just got to play. I'd be like, no, you need to have someone that can, punch you in the nose back. And I'm going to go full slogan 2017, whatever I think it was 2016, 17 or something like that. And just play. Just use your speed. They've got the legs right now. And if they try to take the physicality and cheap shots to you, take the power plays and make the most of them.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Just go out there and just try to hammer them.
Try to wax them.
Yeah, and make them make mistakes and take advantage.
Agreed. And with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Robbie, I watched a Maple Leafs game the other day, and I've made my hatred for this team, mostly their core, known for quite a while. It's no secret.
Yeah.
But Robbie, I have to tell you that this Toronto Maple Leafs team is different. I watched this game. They are different. They have a different feeling about them. I watched them run power play 1. They had 5 forwards on the ice. They had Marner playing defense, essentially on the defensive side, and they've got Nylander, Matthews, and whoever else they have. Oh, Tavares, and another 4, maybe Matthew Nyes up there. And not gonna lie, they look dangerous, and they've got a different vibe about them. They've got that Berube bump where they're playing confidently, fast, heavy on pucks. Matthews is just chippy and yelling and hacking and whacking a bit. It's scary. And for somebody that's hated the Leafs for so long, it is a little bit concerning to someone like me. That's the one where I'm hoping that they can get 2 points clean, and as a best case scenario, get 2 points clean in New York and come back. And, if the Maple Leafs give it to you on Hockey Night in Canada night, that's not, obviously we don't want that, but just bank those 2 points because that team looks dangerous right now.
Yeah, they're playing good hockey. There's no doubt about that. And the Penguins have struggled with them in the recent years too. That speed really seems to kill the Penguins. And they're going to be coming off a game the night before in New York and a travel night as well. So yeah, I mean, just hope your legs are there, and hopefully the momentum's still rolling and you can go and give Toronto a game, because again, it's not going to be an easy game. They're another difficult opponent. So yeah, just go out there, play your game, and hope the bounces go your way.
Before we cap off this episode, noted that you said St. Ivany got sent down to Wilkes-Barre, right?
Yeah.
Where are we at with that move? You think he needs a little more seasoning?
I mean, if it's between him and Pickering to avoid waivers, I think Pickering at the NHL is more valuable from a present and future standpoint. Just get him the reps, give him a taste of the NHL, and he's looked good so far. He's acquitted himself well, so I can't really say that if Pickering was really struggling, it's a different story. But given what we've seen, if that's the decision you have to make, I can't fault them for sticking with Pickering.
I agree, and it's good he didn't need waivers, because I'm sure he's a right shot stay-at-home D-man. Someone would nab him up with his age and cap hit. But St. Ivy's a part of this future as well. Yep. Contract-wise, they signed him. I think they gave him a 3-year deal. So
they did.
Interesting move there. Still watching from the press box would be Graves, and
yep.
Is his name Adam Graves?
Ryan.
Dude, I keep calling him Adam Graves.
Adam was the guy that played for the Rangers in
I know.
90s.
It's so weird. And I don't think I even watched Adam Graves play, and I just think of Adam. And he definitely doesn't play like Adam Graves. Puljujärvi sideline. I feel for the kid a little bit. Where are you at with Puljujärvi and Graves still watching from the press box?
I kind of wish Puljujärvi was getting more ice time, because every time he's out there, he seems to be causing problems and doing good, but I don't know. He's just doesn't seem to be. He just for some reason is the odd man out, and I really don't care for it. I'd rather see him getting some ice time.
Yeah, he's a big disruptor, and I think sometimes that can actually go the other way too. Sometimes he almost disrupts good things that happens a little bit, but I like the pace he plays with, the tenacity, and this was a guy we were pretty excited about getting a chance in Pittsburgh. Seeing him sitting out is kind of a bummer. I wish that we could. I wish they could find a spot for him in that bottom six or that fourth line, but they've been playing pretty well, and just wanted to touch on that essentially quickly before we moved on. So it'd be interesting to see what the lineups look like. I assume they'll look pretty similar to what they looked like tonight. Cody Glass, as you mentioned, coming off being activated off IR. You got to think he's going to get a game in at some point, probably in that back-to-back. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'll see where they go. You have to think that some of these guys are going to get a shot in the lineup at some point. But when you're a hot team like the Penguins, you kind of want to stick with what's been working. And right now, that's what they've been putting on the ice with 4 wins in a row. So fingers crossed that continues this weekend.
Agreed. So as far as forecasting the games, obviously no one will hear from us until Saturday night, I assume.
I'm actually going to be out of town all weekend. I'm going to Indianapolis. So
Indianapolis?
Yeah.
The college football?
Penn State's playing in the Big Ten championship game. So I will be out of commission until Monday, which we'll probably just do like a mailbag and talk about the games real quick.
Who are they playing?
Oregon.
The Oregon Ducks?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's the new conference lineups. Got them with Oregon and Indianapolis at a neutral site. So, yeah, we got big travel day on Friday and then game Saturday and then travel home Sunday. So, going to be a busy weekend.
What's the over-under for beers consumed on this trip?
I honestly don't know. Saturday is really the only day we're going to be able to enjoy any beers. I don't know what the plan is exactly. So maybe if we get closer, we'll set an over-under, and I'll keep you updated.
Maybe give us an update of where you're at, and I'm assuming it might depend on how your team's doing as well.
Probably, that's probably it as well. That definitely factors in.
Yeah, that'll factor into beers consumed as well. So, well, that's awesome, man. Well, then, preview those games, got those set up for all of you listeners out there, and hopefully we're singing a happy tune. When we come back to you, I guess it'd be on Monday for coverage and maybe mailbag combo.
Absolutely. That's the plan.
Sounds good to me. Well, I got nothing left, Robbie.
All right, so Snail has nothing. I have nothing. The Penguins are 5-4 overtime winners against the Panthers here on Tuesday night. That is 4 wins in a row for the Penguins as they continue to march forward now into December. This weekend, Friday, the Rangers in New York. Saturday, the Leafs come to town for a back-to-back. So busy weekend again from the Penguins. So, we'll talk to you guys on Monday. For Snail, I'm Robbie. You guys have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon.